Hi, my name is Irene, and I'm a paintings conservator at the Heritage Conservation Center, or HCC. Today, I'd like to share more with you about a very striking portrait by Georgette Chen, Malay Maiden. After a number of difficult years that spanned the war, the death of her first husband, Georgette Chen, and a split from her second husband, 𝘔𝘢𝘭𝘢𝘺, Georgette Chen arrived on her own in Singapore. Chen was by no means a stranger to the island. She had previously visited on several occasions and befriended many artists and other prominent locals. But upon her relocation, she developed a deep affinity for Singapore's culture and became a prominent figure of the local art scene. She even became fluent in Bahasa Melayu. Through her work with the Leaf Foundation, she also supported many artists and art societies. One such society was the Angkatan Pelukis Aneka Daya, or APAT for short, an art society for Malay artists. Many of Georgette Chen's works during this time are intimate portraits of the various people from different backgrounds that she met and befriended. It was wonderful for me to see how she made great effort to capture their likeness and personality. Malay Maiden from 1961 was one such piece. It was interesting to examine Malay Maiden as it showed us how Chen's technique and style began to change in the 60s and the 70s after her move to Malaya. We know that the region and its unique sites deeply impact Chen. When we examine her works from this period, we observe that her color palette began to change as she started to work with brighter colors and tones. These can be clearly seen in the portrait, with its beautiful light blues and pinks. You can also see how she was deeply influenced by the tropical sites around her and began to focus on depicting local subjects and textiles. This can be seen through her attention to the colors and textures of the sitter's outfit. See how she carefully depicts the delicate embroidery on the bodies of the kebaya. She also renders the sheen of the satin on the sleeve by juxtaposing orange tones with the pale blue to give the effect of light. The headscarf is also a wonderful study of textures as she creates translucency through a skillful play of lighter and darker pink strokes. If you join us for the previous videos in the series, you have seen that Chen employs saturated and rich brushstrokes to construct her earlier scenes. Through using raking and transmitted light, we could see that her paint application in this work is much thinner and smoother than in some of her earlier works. You might assume that this smooth application might make the painting look flat or even lack movement and vitality, but it's actually quite the contrary. One area where this is evident is the background. Take a closer look. See how Chen creates a sense of vibration through her use of quick and modulated brushstrokes. This makes the portrait look more dynamic even though the subject is seated against a plain wall. The technique used by Chen to achieve this result is called hatching. Hatching consists of creating parallel lines of varying lengths, closeness, and angles that give the impression of form and light in the portrait. You might also recall from the videos on Coast of Brittany and Portrait of Georgette Chen that one notable characteristic of her earlier periods was that areas of the canvas were sometimes left without any paint due to the spontaneous and immediate way she worked. In comparison, in the works we studied from this period, we observed that she generally covered most of the overall surface with paint. We know that the region and its unique sites deeply inspired Chen. Perhaps this compelled her to relish close observation of the new motifs available to her and dedicate more time to the creation of her works during this period. As you can see from this painting, moving to Singapore had a significant impact on Georgette Chen's works. In the next video, we will continue to track this evolution as we cover another one of Chen's emblematic works from this period, Tropical Fruits. Join us then to discover more about how the region shaped Chen's practice. See you then!